Hi everybody, it's Donna from donnasdreamworks.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how I put together a card, a couple of girlfriend birthday cards I've had an order for, and I wanted to show you how I used my gypsy. I don't usually do tutorials on gypsies because I'm not that good at it. I'm just learning myself a lot of the tricks, but I was watching Emma yesterday over on My Creative Time. And she has a Throwback Thursday challenge where you had to use one of your Cricut Light cartridges, any one you wanted, and add some bling to the card. Well, it was an easy choice for me because I only have one Cricut Light cartridge, which is Lacy Labels. And as it happened, I was just in the midst of making a card using that cartridge, and so I thought I'd complete it and then slip it over to her challenge. But I wanted to show you a little bit about what I did. This is the card that I made, okay, and as you can see, it has sort of a scalloped front on it, and what I wanted was to have the front of the card actually meet right at the bottom of the back of the card, which was my challenge because of the two different shapes that I welded together. And let me show you if I can on the gypsy what I did. I first of all just took a rectangle, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then this is the shape from the Cricut Light cartridge. It is the one labeled flower right here. And the reason I chose this one originally is because it had a straight side on it, and I thought it would be easier to weld it together. So what I did was just that. First of all, I took, and this is welded, so I can't show you individually. Oh yes, I can. I unwelded it. I'm sorry. I put one on top of the other so that they would meet at the bottom, and that way I knew. And you can see that this scalloped one is just slightly overlapping, so I knew when I welded it together just about that far apart, it would in fact meet nicely at the bottom. And as it happened, it worked out very well. And when it was cut, it cut a nice area. I then just took the same piece again and laid it one on top of the other. Oh, I got to get rid of my eyeball here. I'll go back to my basic. And I just started laying one on top of the other and then making them a tiny bit smaller so that I could have layers. And that's basically what I've done here. So that's how I did it on the gypsy, and I'll show you how I put it together. We started off with the scalloped card, and as you can see, I'm going to turn the overhead light on now. I think you'll get a better picture, but it was glaring on the screen of the gypsy. Okay, we have the scalloped card that I folded with the longest point right to the edge of the back, and it makes it easy to stand up. Okay, I have my layers here, which was just cut from the same Lacy Labels cut, just slightly smaller. So we'll put those two together. And then I'm going to put that one on here. It's really quite a simple card to put together once you have the pieces. I will tell you that when I made these two layers, whoops, Oh dear. When I made these 2 layers, they did not want to come out even at the top. In other words, I could fit them very nicely at the bottom, as I am here. Okay, but they were too long up here, so I did have to take my paper trimmer and just trim them off. And that is because I was using the whole Lacy label to make the layers, and yet the Lacy label had been welded, so it was not quite as long as it would have been. I took another piece of the same paper and just put it as the inside so that it would carry through. Okay, there you go. And then for my lady here, this is an Emerson stamp that I've had for a long time. I have one particular friend who just loves this, so I use it a lot. It has its own sentiment on it. If you look at the original stamp, it says hang loose. But I didn't do the sentiment on it this time because I wanted to do a different type of sentiment on the outside. So I'm just going to pop her up on some foam tape, foam dots. And what I did with her, and I'm going to move this up, I did the same thing yesterday. I've put it so that the image and the scallop circle is all the way to the bottom of the card. So you have to remember that your foam tape can't go all the way to the bottom of this because it would stick the card closed and you wouldn't be able to open it. This was stamped, and if you notice this stamp, she has a solid dress, so when you stamp her, she comes out solid color, whatever color you stamp it. So I just took my glue pen and put glue all over her dress and used some of this green glitter to give her a blinged up wardrobe, and I think she came out really cute. And my cinnamon, I will just add to the front. I have to get the other. Here we go. The ATG guns are wonderful. I wouldn't be without it, but sometimes when you have a smaller piece, it can almost be a little bit too hard to work with. That's the only adhesive I have out right now, so we'll work with it. Okay, so that is my card. As I made it with the Lacy Labels cartridge. I think it came out nice. The inside sentiment, I can just show you when I'm going to pick up the wrong ATG gun 14 times so far. I've got to fix that one after I finish this tape. The sentiment says, girlfriend, birthdays are good for you. And on the inside it says, the more you have, the longer you live. Have a happy one. We are all in my age bracket, well into retirement years, so these kind of cards are appropriate. And I have, as I mentioned, I have a couple of friends who really like to have these kind of cards made for their birthday partners. Okay, that's about it. It was a fairly easy card once you use the gypsy to get the pieces in order. Have fun, try it out, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.